You're listening to the Premier Podcast Network. Welcome to the pinnacle of wrestling entertainment, Premier Streaming Network. Join us at watchonpremier.com to unlock the ultimate wrestling experience. Curated to perfection. Immerse yourself in the spectacular world of wrestling history, where classic battles and unforgettable moments are at your fingertips. Join us today and experience the epitome of curated wrestling content. Because when it comes to wrestling entertainment, Premier sets the standard. Be Premier.
Hey everybody, this is Dominic, DeAngelo of Inside the Ropes and of other outlets as well, ad-free shows, but I am here today on the Premier Streaming Network. It is episode 15 of One of a Kind. I'm happy to welcome back none other than Mr. Monday Night, Mr. Wednesday Night just recently, Mr. Thursday Night, Mr. Money in the Bank. It's Rob Van Dam. Rob, welcome back to the show, brother.
Thanks, dude. Episode 15.
Episode 15.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a bitter.
Everything's good, dude. Everything's good, man. Feeling great. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Good week.
Right. Sad week in wrestling a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Things that happened. I wanted to touch upon those, kicking off everything. First off, Bray Wyatt, the very unexpected passing of Bray Wyatt, only 36 years old, reported heart attack. Rob, did you ever get to interact with him at all?
Yeah, I did some, and he was a really good guy. You know, I talked to him when I was there. I can't remember if it was when I returned in 2013 or if it was before I left in 2007. I can't remember, but I did talk to him and his brother Bo, and then last time I remember seeing Bray. Must have been one of the Hall of Fames, like over the last 4 or 5 years, or whenever it was that I started going to the Hall of Fame again after disappearing from them for a minute. I don't know what year it was. Last time I saw him, though, I remember he was really happy. So I think it was around the time when he was doing the thing with Alexa Bliss, or getting into that character or whatever. Because, but I'm not sure though. But I do remember he was really happy, and he was expressing to me how happy he was, and that they were using his ideas, and he was able to express himself the way he wanted to, and it was really cool to hear. And also at the same time, I remember thinking like, wow, I guess we're better friends than I thought we were, or at least he appreciates me more than I realized. Just the way he was opening up and we had that moment, you know what I mean? And that happens a lot with me, you know what I mean? Because I never assume that I'm making a huge impression on people. A lot of times I'll introduce myself to people, and they'll be like, they're offended because they think I don't remember them. They're like, we met, and I'm like, oh, all right, maybe I didn't really know, but I never expect someone to remember me, necessarily, because my ego doesn't tell me, you just made a huge impact on their life by shaking their hand, so I don't know, like, good to see you again.
Right. No, from what I've been hearing, like after, the word got around of his passing and stuff like that, he was very outgoing and a friendly person to everybody. And like, I guess he gave like the warmest hugs to people. So it was like in a lot of ways that like he very much felt like you knew him when you met him. I never got to meet him, but yes, from everything I've been gathering, he's very like wonderful person and human being, and everybody loved him. And he was very insightful too when it came to wrestling, obviously growing up in that family and stuff like that, and the legacy that Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda and everybody to that effect being there. And so he grew up in the business. It's pretty sad, definitely pretty sad. His Fiend gimmick was something else too, man.
Yeah, oh, he was so over. The fans loved him. You know, they're sure that he's just, 1 week away from the biggest comeback ever, the way they keep him in mind, and that's awesome to stay that hot. And everyone's going to just say what a good guy. And I know we're going to move on to talk about Terry Funk, who died like just the day before, right?
Right. Yeah, just the day before.
You know what I mean? I have different experiences with Terry, but in both ways, it feels a little bit awkward to me when people send me their condolences. I feel like I don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like I want to pay it forward and pass that on to the family and especially to his kids and wife and or fiance, whatever, and also and even to the fans that are really crushed over this because we have that connection. Certain wrestlers really touch the fans in such a way that they're part of their lives. I'd like to. I know that I'm one of those with a lot of my fans, and man, I still see like people are still crushed and shocked over Eddie Guerrero from 2005. Oh my gosh, yeah, people are still like, man, I can't believe Eddie's gone, and I think that was 2005. That was so long ago. It's part of life. The longer you go on, the more people you see die, and I don't want to sound callous, but I get used to seeing it. There are certain people that I wouldn't be able to handle quite like other people, but I definitely people reaching out to me saying, man, I'm saddened for your loss and condolences. I wish I could just take that and like I said, pay it forward and pass that on to people that are really hurt over this, and I'm I'll go ahead and suffer the loss my own way,
Right. Yeah. And no, to your point too, he was one of those guys that a lot of fans connected with. Like, I was just thinking about too. It's like he was, that supernatural persona that the Undertaker had. He was carrying it on in a lot of ways, and that's the tough kind of gimmick to do in a lot. Like, to create the believability, and his ability to do that as the Fiend was like, oh man, the menace almost that you hear about in wrestling and stuff like that. His was like hot to another high level of that, and so, and like just his creativity that he pitched to it all. It's like he had that special connection with fans that a lot of wrestlers don't get, and there was so much more potential for him to be able to do a lot of stuff. I think in the business as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's his. Oh no, never mind. I was trying to figure out how are Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham related? Are they?
So yeah, well, Mike Rotunda is Barry Windham's brother-in-law. So he married Mike Rotunda married Barry Windham's wife, and so that
Mike Rotunda married Barry Windham.
Barry Windham's sister. I'm sorry, his sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, his sister. And so that's Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are their children. So that's how they're related. So Barry Windham is his uncle. His uncle.
Hey, but man, back I guess it was, I don't know, one of my runs with WWE. I just remember what a trip that was to experience, to be in the arena, whether I'm laid out on the floor, thinking, man, they're abusing me. Like I gotta crawl my way back during the commercial breaks when everyone forgets about me. But nonetheless, when they would turn the lights out and everyone held their lighter up, that was just so awesome. That was so awesome to experience firsthand that energy and that audience participation. It was just so real.
It was a very unique spectacle, and he brought a lot to it, and creativity, some of the humor that was in it, and then the darkness. It was all across the board a really, really fun persona. He did a lot, and it's such a shame to lose him so early and everything, obviously. So R.I.P. to him. R.I.P. to him. All right, and then Terry Funk, who we talked about even a couple weeks ago on here. You did mention that like you were more connected with Dory than you were with Terry, but is that anything else after hearing about his passing? Anything else kind of jogged your memory in relation to what you had with Terry? Or
well, I remember when he came to ECW when he was working with us then, and I was that was like party days for me. You know what I mean? I actually at that time, those were somas, pain pills, whatever, gobble gobble. That was before Louis had passed away, before I realized how dangerous they were. That sounds so stupid, thinking I'm 26, 27 years old, an adult, and that I didn't realize how dangerous eating all those
You
pills.
don't think about that though. I like in a lot of ways when you're even that age, it's just like
it was part of our society, you know, part of the culture, and everyone was doing it, and it was fun. You know what I mean? I really didn't know until my friends started dropping off. But I think of, you know, one particular time when Terry was there, and I don't know what I was looking for, but I just remember. Hold on a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Ooh. I feel like I disrespected him because I went up to him and I was just like, "Hey Terry, you got any drugs?" And he was like, "No, I don't need any. I don't think you need any either." Something like that. And looking back at it though, it was so stupid and disrespectful. You know, like I don't even know what I must have thought I was being crazy. I went up to Terry Funk and asked him, you know, I knew he didn't have any, and I knew he didn't do any, you know, but for whatever reason, I guess I thought I was making some kind of a bold or brave statement for what, I don't know. But looking back at it, it was really stupid. You know, nothing I'm too proud of. I'm just sharing it here because I'm that open, and it's a memory that, you know, that does stick with me. But fortunately, that's not my only memory of him. But I never really, you know, worked with him a lot. Never hung out with him a whole lot. That barbed wire match with Sabu when I came out and clipped the barbed wire, that might be the only time maybe that I was even in the ring with him. Maybe.
Yeah, because I mean, to think about like what he brought to ECW, like he really kind of helped set the precedent, like that established star that comes in and be so like, hey, look at all these up and coming stars that are happening here too. Terry Funk's a part of it, and so to look at that, and like it would have been kind of neat for you guys to clash in the ring at some point or another in a single.
There was one time where Sabu and I were about to put somebody through a table. Mm-hmm. The way I remember it was in Philly at the Viking Hall. We were both up on the top rope, opposite corners. Sabu puts his finger up. Damn. And a chair hit him in the back of the head. He turned around and got one in the face. One of those times when everyone threw their chairs in the ring and called the finish. And in my mind, I'm always thinking, like, was that Bam Bam Bigelow? But I think it also maybe could have been Terry Funk. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those.
Well, yeah. I mean, Terry and Sabu had that legendary match too. And what was Sabu's thoughts on Terry and everything?
Oh, he respected the hell out of him.
Yeah.
I love working with him. By the way, as I'm choking on
protein bars.
Yeah. Well, I got that ready, and I have these mixed nuts right now. I always say that I don't munch. I don't get the munchies, and I don't munch in between meals. And that's true like 99% of the time, but sometimes I buy peanuts and I just try to, like, when I'm walking by, maybe I'll eat a handful or 2 handfuls and try and get some extra protein in me or whatever. And but yeah, it's nothing that I don't do it every day or whatever, but I do like them. But so I feel like, you know, that I don't want to be taken as a hypocrite. And the protein bars, that's straight up, that's like a meal. Like I get the ones that are 20 grams of protein, 0 sugar, and, you know, if I eat 2 of them, boom, that's a whole meal. So that's not much. But yeah, but I don't, just for anyone that gives a fuck, I don't, you know, buy candy, and I don't eat it, and I don't snack, and I don't eat like chips and stuff. There's always exceptions. I might go to Subway and say, you know what, damn it, I'm breaking down and getting those multi-grain chips to eat with my sandwich.
Yeah, you can have fun chips.
But in general, I don't, though. It's just protein intakes, you know, every so often. So,
and once in a while,
I'm munching and choking right here and dying by my hypocrisy. I just wanted to spit that out, literally.
Terry Funk needs to throw a chair at your back so you get it all cleared out.
I don't remember any other like really like deep stories being with Terry. You know, we talked about being at the Funk Ranch, right? That was really cool.
Oh, for the match, right?
Well, it was that same trip, but I guess, yeah, we went to the Funk Ranch on that trip, and we got pictures of the boys there. I have a picture of me and Sabu and Taz and Chris Candido. And I know Dreamer was there too. I think. I don't know why he's not in the photo, but we all got to go out because we were in Amarillo for that retirement match that's on Beyond the Mat documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, we all got to go out and visit his farm, which was really cool. You know, good experience. Pretty private going to the dude's house, but besides that, I don't got much, much that comes to mind except, R.I.P. Hardcore legend.
Yeah. How do you view him overall, like as like a wrestler, influential in the business kind of aspect of that all?
Personally, I feel like overall his contributions to the industry were huge, but a lot of it wasn't to the American crowd. And so because of that, a lot of the fans in the United States might not remember him. I remember when Terry and Dory and man, I just had his name till I went to say it, but they called him Jimmy Jack Funk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Art Bar, not Art Bar, Jesse Bar.
I don't know. Maybe I can Google it real quick.
So I remember as a fan, I don't think I was in the business. I remember it being like on Saturday Night's Main Event, like those days when I was really young. But I remember the three of them when they were in WWF and had that run for a while. But besides that, a lot of the fans that wouldn't watch Japanese wrestling and trade tapes or didn't get to watch ECW might not quite be able to appreciate him as much because they didn't see him as much. But overall, obviously, I mean, as big of a legend as there can be.
And that's the great point too, because I think about too. I grew up Attitude Era and stuff, and I was only familiar with Terry starting off as believe it or not, like Chainsaw Charlie and his run with Mick Foley and that kind of thing in the Attitude Era. But then later on, you kind of, as you get more involved and learn about the business, it's like, wow, he had such an impact, not just with there, but like NWA champion. Then obviously ECW in Japan, All Japan with Dory, and some of those death matches he had with Anita, and just crazy stuff. And I don't think I ever told you this too, Rob, but I interviewed him like in 2020. And I was looking high and low to try to get his phone number too, because I read the autobiography that he had in 2005, and I was like, damn, I'd love to get Terry Funk. So I was looking all over the place trying to see how I could contact him. So I sent an email to Dave Meltzer and like wrote him like this War and Peace letter. It was like, hey, this is why I want to talk to Terry and all that stuff. And he just sent me his phone number.
No shit.
Yeah, and that was it. And so I was just on my back porch.
Well, tell him where you got it. One of those, or
no, it was just I wrote him like this whole letter, and all Dave Meltzer sent me was just the phone number. That was it.
Terry Funk. Terry Funk. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And so I called it, and sure enough, Terry answered, and I was like, "Hey, Terry, I read your book, blah blah blah," and like, it's sure enough, it is Terry. You can hear it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll do an interview with you." And
listen, Dom, don't you ever give anybody my phone number without asking me.
I will not do that. I will not do that.
So, is there a way I can make your picture be closer to the camera so I can look at you and look at the camera at the same time?
That's a good question. I can move myself in a little bit. Or maybe, let me see. Oh, you know what, Rob? Go into your corner, in the right-hand corner, and there's a little square. Maybe if you click on that, that might enlarge it. I see it on my screen at least.
I can enlarge it, but like it doesn't bring you closer to the camera. Really, it just makes you bigger.
Oh.
I want to move you up. So you're like right there, and then I can look at you when I'm talking to you.
Oh, like one-on-one kind of thing. I'm not sure if you can do the one-on-one thing.
Right.
Not like quite like Zoom, but
I would have to be able to cut the screen or move the window past the top of the screen.
Yeah.
But I thought there might be a way to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to dabble in StreamYard a little bit.
Fans, let me know below.
Yeah, if you know what we're doing, I'm just shooting from the hip with this stuff.
Hey, some of these videos have been getting a lot of comments and shit going on the YouTube
They have
page.
been.
That's cool.
Yeah, they very much have been. It'll be interesting to see too. Like I have a few of them here, not too many this week, but yeah. After that too, Rob, I called Terry every couple of weeks. Because he was like, after we did the interview, he's like, I like talking to you. Let's talk some more. And so sure enough, I'd call him and keep in touch. And I did it for about two and a half years and stuff. So it was pretty cool. But
that is cool. Then you got to meet him in person?
Never got to meet him in person.
Well, okay.
Yeah, never got to meet him in person. But always we talked. I watched like Onita and I talked to him about that match and we just bullshit about life and stuff like that. And it was all during COVID. And so all the crazy stuff and happening. And so it was a pretty neat experience. But yeah. He became one of my favorites. So, yeah. No doubt about it, Rob. Yeah, very good guy. Very good guy. You always hear about that, too. So, all right.
Anyway, talking about the lack of United States experience, I wasn't thinking about way back to the NWA and Territories days. I mean, those, the fans that know about that part, that of course, they were some of the pioneers, him and his brother.
Yeah, him and Dory, just one of those defending NWA champions. And then, him establishing himself as that. And then Terry had a short run as NWA champion too, but ended up, kind of moving on from that. But famous feuds with Dusty, Flair, all that kind of stuff happened. And very much established. And he could, Jerry Lawler, and he could cut a promo. He was great at babyface or heel. Either one, too.
People love imitating Terry Funk's voice. He's one of those, like Cactus Jack, I guess, where people love to imitate that.
Him, Dusty, any one of those you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely has a good voice to imitate.
I never heard anybody do my voice that sounds anything like me. They always just go, dude, what's up?
Yeah. Let's do
that's what I sound like.
Voice. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yes, that's what I sound like. You know what's weird is when people try to do the thumbs to imitate me, but they do it like this.
They don't use their thumb?
No, I swear to God, this is a thing.
Really?
Like it happens every once in a while. The first time I remember seeing it was Linda McMahon. She was like, yeah, she told me that after I'd been there a short amount of time. She goes, I love that thing you do. It's so cute where you point at yourself. And I was like, is that what she sees? And then since then, I pointed it out. So Katie's aware of it too, and she notices. It's not very often, but every once in a while someone will do that and they'll be like RVD, and I'm like, how do they see that? They think they forget, or they really see it that I'm doing that in their mind, or how does that work? I wonder.
Maybe they got arthritis and they just can't handle their thumbs.
Maybe. Maybe, but I mean it seems like it's happened not a lot, but between 5 and 10 times over the years. It's a thing. It's a real thing. I love it when RVD. I'm gonna steal that. My name is John Paul Jones, so I go JPJ.
I never told you this story too, Rob. It was my last day in college. I graduated, and there was this trash bar called the Cell Block. And it was just people drinking and just nuts. And they had this cover band playing and stuff like that. And I got super hammered. And I just hopped up on stage and I started doing RVD. And the bouncer came up behind me and just picked me up and just set me back down off the stage.
Sounds like he was nice to you.
He was nice to me. Yeah, he was just he just hammered. We'll just put him back down.
He's like, you're lucky I love RVD.
He's like, he is the man. So, well, hey, so speaking of which, people will get to meet you at StarCast 6 coming up. Friday evening and Saturday during the day, but we also have a stage show coming up.
Oh shit!
And that'll be Saturday, I believe, early afternoon or around lunchtime. So we'll have some good stuff. Good conversation. Feel free to tune in. Rob will also have stickers that he.
You can tell I'm out of shape in that shirt.
Oh yeah, look how out of shape you are, Rob. Jeez. Oh my God.
You can tell.
Oh my God.
I let myself go.
Let yourself go. Rob Van Hot Damn. Jeez. Right. Really let it
Back
run
to the stickers, bro. Tell them about the stickers.
Yeah, so I got stickers made. And hey, if you go meet RVD, he'll just give them to you. So,
Boom.
Yeah, and there's nothing to it. You don't got to pay. It's got Hal Laney's artwork on there, and it's our podcast logo. So
you don't tell them that before. You tell them that after they buy a picture, dog. They're going to line up.
That's the incentive. You go buy a picture, and you get the sticker here, too.
And then they're going to want me to sign it. They're going to be pissed when my agent says, yeah, hand over some money.
Hand over a little bit of cashola.
That's what they do, though. They charge for the autograph. People bring their own shit all the time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so how it works too typically, Rob? I don't sign stuff. So do you bring your own 8x10s a lot of the times, or is it?
No, very almost never. Never. Yeah, because I'm just paid to be there. It's the way I prefer to do it, so that's why I do less of the other kind anymore. But there are a few different ways to do it. But I'm so busy that I'm able to pick and choose, and so I'm paid a flat rate to be there, and then everything's on them. Everything. So they gotta bring whatever merch, charge whatever they want, try to make their money back, and then some. And then I'm just there to smile and meet the fans and shake some hands and throw some RVDs on their items.
Yeah, I know from experience too. Being in Pittsburgh, Rob takes his time. He's gracious with you guys. He great at signing stuff. Top notch.
It's always been cool to meet the fans. I've always enjoyed that, and I was always told I was the only one in WWE that would come out in the back at the arenas and shit. And Katie's gonna get that. We're expecting that. But the fans would line up, or they'd be standing at the fence around the parking lot where the boys park, and I would always if I had enough time, I'd get them on my way in. But either way, I would love to just take a break from being at the fucking in the middle of work, be like, I'm just gonna go walk outside and get some sun and take some pictures, sign some autographs, and makes people so happy. And they would always tell me about, Rob, you're the only one that does this, man. We appreciate you. And they tell me about certain guys, if they were jerks or whatever, that walked in, and I'd be like, well, maybe they were in a hurry. I don't know.
Yeah.
I always love that. Even when with the Make-A-Wish and with the agent setup meet and greets, I was always volunteering. Tim White used to always give me props for that and say that I was the best at volunteering, but it's because I got a break from being around all the boys and shit, and got to go where I actually felt appreciated. And so I was always like, hey, Tim, you got any meet and greets today? And he'd be like, oh, we do, Rob, but we're gonna switch it up and go with so and so today because we got you the last 4 times. Just take it easy, take a break today. I'd be like, all right,
hey,
let me know. Yeah.
Did you do a lot of Make-A-Wishes?
Not a lot by standards that I think would qualify a lot. No, but it was part of something. I'm sure I've done dozens of them at the arena. They would, like I said, I was always volunteering, and also not just Tim White, but also Suzanne. Sue Richards, I think. Anyway, I love that, dealing with the agents and going out there, and whether it was contest winners from, hey, stop, come here. Whether it was contest winners from a local radio show, or whether it was 3 or 4 Make-A-Wish kids in a room waiting to meet, didn't mean the difference to me. It was all the same,
Yeah, I bet it's just a neat experience, and not only you're getting something out of it, but you're helping those kids out and everything.
Yeah.
They can know their early lives too about oh man, setting a fandom. It's pretty neat. Barbie's a fan too.
Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, it's you got to be cognizant of the impact that you have on others, and when you're in a position like ours, a high profile role model kind of situation, where man, people could kids especially just light up when they see you, whoa, Rob Van Dam, and it's something that can be taken for granted if you don't see it enough. And you could be in the locker room not doing meet and greets day after day after day, dealing with the same kind of political energy, and maybe if you have like ongoing issues of feeling underappreciated or something, there's no escapism from it, and so it can kind of drown you. So it's nice to get some air and feel freshened up for the moment.
Yeah,
that's how I always look at it.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true too. That's definitely true. Well, cool. Hey, speaking of fans, we got a little bit of feedback I picked out here from YouTube. If you guys like what you see, obviously go to the YouTube, go to rvdpod.com, check out the videos, the clips, and make some comments, because they might get read on here too. And even if not, Rob's always checking them out too, and seeing it all. So, and I look at them as well, so obviously, because I'm
down below.
Down below. Get some comments cooking on there. That helps us out. All right, so Big Rocka 9606 says, love the pod, applying RVDology to my life, and it's been helping me get through the mental grind of life. Just started reading the Celestian Prophecy. Also love the stories and a peek behind the curtain. So how about that, Rob?
Boom. Doesn't get any better than that, man. That's the kind of feedback I love to hear. I love to know that I am accomplishing that. That's fucking what I do it for.
I think that's the coolest aspect, I think, too, is the RVDology and people being able to carry it. It's like, hopefully we're entertaining you, but then on top of it, hopefully you're learning a lot of stuff too. Just stuff that you can apply to your daily life. It's pretty neat.
Yes.
All right. So you talked to this guy, but he says, hey, Rob, a huge fan since 2003. Well, my parents actually let me watch wrestling. I was wondering if you had a panic attack from smoking weed. I had a heart condition and smoked oil. Called an ambulance because I didn't want my girlfriend to find me dead on the ground. And you said you never have, but you've had friends that have. Be careful. It's not for everyone. Yeah. That can be an aspect of definitely smoking. I've had some of those
everyone, but I have one friend in particular that heavy smoker. He used to own a medical marijuana store, so he was really into it. And after smoking for years, all of a sudden he stopped and said that he started freaking out, and he was telling me to beware, this just happens, and it's never happened to me. He's already gone back to smoking, and I don't know, maybe 10 years later, had the exact same thing happen again.
Wow.
So now
it just happens out of nowhere sometimes for him.
Apparently, yeah, apparently, we're all different. We all react differently to absolutely every form of stimuli that happens throughout the day, and that's something that I can't be completely shocked at, because I know that's true. Because I know that everyone has different reactions. It's not normal, but the paranoia thing, has been talked about a lot. So obviously that happens to a lot of people, but I usually think that paranoia has a lot to do with just having an alternate perception, a little bit of a feeling of a loss of control because things look different. You can't tell how your depth perception's off, whatever. I think a lot of it is just, like I said, the loss of control and reacting to that. But also, it could be directly releasing cortisol and adrenaline from the brain on some people and just straight up causing panics. It's like, hey, maybe try a different strand, or maybe just stay away from it, but just know that that's not how it affects everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know I very novice when it comes to smoking, but when I did, I've had panic attacks on it before, but then it's just definitely depends on who you're around and just kind of how much you kind of do too. I think helps you out a little bit too. If you're with people that you feel comfortable with, that's helped me out. But when
they had all the legal weed that was going around, the spice, that used to be my routine when I was with TNA Impact in 2009, 10, 11, 12, I mean.
Yeah. During
that run, because I'd already gotten busted so many times for marijuana, I'm like, dude, I'm in there. I'm down to Florida for 2 days every 2 weeks. Like that's so simple. It's not worth getting busted over. So I wouldn't bring weed, and I would just go a couple days without. But then I learned I could stop at this pipe store. I used to have this routine. I'd get the apple at Quiznos at the Orlando airport, and that was going to be my pipe. And then I would stop at this pipe store that sold the spices, and they had it down so you would know the packaging, the brand. You could count on somewhat consistent quality. Mr. Nice Guy was one of my favorites that I used to get, and I would buy that, and then all day at Universal Studios, I'm out in my car listening to Howard Stern at the time, and I would just pack the apple. I'd make a pipe out of it, stick a pen in, make a little chamber, and I would smoke that out of that, and it was amazing. It wasn't as healthy as weed, and I knew that. I knew I was giving up something, but I figured a couple days. Every couple of weeks, I'm gonna go ahead and bite it on this one.
Yeah.
So it was stronger than weed. It made me feel like Superman sometimes. Like wow, gave me energy. It was amazing. And then a lot of the other guys, sometimes would sit in the car with me and smoke, and that became a thing. There was one kind, Devil's. Not Devil's. I don't think it was Devil's Advocate. Something like that, though.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only thing that I've had that made me completely freak out. It was straight up just a reaction, a chemical reaction in my brain to that particular intake, what I took, because it was. I was at a signing and I went off by myself, and all of a sudden it was like acid or I compare it to acid because like. My vision turned everything physical into blah and just like blending and all of a sudden like my heart rate went way up. I started panicking, and I was like, whoa. And I'm looking around and I was just like, oh my God, I am fucked up. And that just happened that one kind with that, but I put that shit away. And it was probably like a year later. I pulled the same package out, tried it again, did the same thing to me.
Did it? Oh man.
Yeah, it was just not enjoyable. It was like everything was just moving. Nothing was solid, and it's like whoa.
I know. Oh man, I've taken. A friend of mine at work gave me edibles, and I had one. I took one. And I'm not used to taking edibles, and I waited about an hour and a half, and I was like, "This is not doing fucking shit." And so then I took another one,
right? Immediately
kicked in, and boom, my night was ruined.
Yeah, everybody's got one of those stories with edibles. It seems like.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Hard to judge on those.
Oh, very much so, very much. No. All right. So this jogged my memory. Gary Rossetti, 2443, says, Katie Forbes took a wicked cactus driver from Sami Callihan and looked great while taking it and sold it perfectly. I think I remember when that happened, and I was like, wow, she did sell that really well. So that was a pretty neat comment, I thought. So.
Yeah, maybe they're going to need the garage door open. Oh, okay. She's already on it, dude.
Already on the case. All right. All right.
Yeah. Hey, baby, they were just talking about that awesome pile driver you took from Sammy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. That was funny. They had her video, or they played a video that was supposedly hers or something on the screen. I can't remember. I just remember she was like, I worked so hard on it. I can't remember what the video was, but it was funny. Oh, I know. It was his face on her body.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sami Callihan, man.
Sami Callihan. How about that? All right, Rob. So to tie this kind of into Terry Funk this week, I thought the wrestler spot.
He's one of those dudes, by the way. He's one of those dudes that like I didn't know how much of an impact I had on him. One of the last we were in Philly wrestling for TNA, I guess, for Impact, I guess, and they have a bar there now that they didn't used to have inside the Philly arena. It's really, really nice now. Maybe I'd show you if I was doing a WWE tour, WrestleMania weekend. but I have good reason to believe that might have been canceled because of a recent appearance I might have done with permission from a different company. But right now, I don't feel like I can talk too much about that. Yeah. But anyway, I was sitting at that bar with Sammy, and he was telling me how much this match that he and I had at an indie show, how much he learned from it, and how much I impacted him and taught him and everything. And it always gets me, I always appreciate it, because if they don't tell me, I wouldn't know, And
and you, like you said, you don't really think about that stuff.
No, I was just thinking about that one bonding drink that I had that one time, and it was one of the last times that I seen him, and it was like, really? Like, wow, man, I had no idea, because I was talking about someone else that said that I mentored them or whatever, and he was kind of like, you do that for me too, and I was like, huh? So, but
do you think that happens a lot, Rob, with you? Like, do you think a lot of
I'm an OG, you know what I mean? Like, I'm used to being OG. Like I have said before, like, I don't personally relate to feeling old, but I understand that I've been around for lifetimes, so I get where people that are younger would think of me as being old. But man, if they feel like this when they're my age, then they're not going to feel old either. It's like, I'm used to that, though. I'm used to being an OG, and I'm used to everybody all day telling me they grew up watching me.
Yeah. It would be kind of interesting to figure out how many of the wrestlers are apprehensive to tell you that, and like maybe I'm sure there's more that you don't even know about. They're just like,
oh, I'm sure, yeah, that's a really, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Wait till I die. No, no, but you're right though. That is the way that it is. And a lot of people don't want to mark out, and they know that I was taught not to mark out for other wrestlers before I ever got in the dressing room and shit. But yeah, I know it does really go a long way when someone tells me that. Like I worked a lot with that Zima Ion and Impact, and so he was telling me that, like, when I saw him when I did the Hall of what did we do? We did the draft picks recently, and I saw him. He wanted to take the time to tell me that directly, how much he appreciated that I took the time to help him up and work with him, and how much he learned from it, and he'll always appreciate it and shit. And it's like that always goes a really long way, a lot further than the fans that say "fuck no job, Rob."
It's a balance to the scales, all.
or now it's like he's a jobber now.
Oh my God, yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, that's what it goes down to too.
Right.
All right, so
I just want to interrupt you. I wanted to interrupt you to put Sammy over like that for a minute, because that goes a long way.
He's got a good crew too. All those Ohio guys I know that really tie into it. I know he's helped them a lot, so it's like it all transitions over. So pretty neat.
I'm going to get a special RVD tattoo and have all of my followers that really believe in me get that tattoo, so I'll know without them having to embarrass themselves, put themselves in an awkward position, or say anything at all. They'll just be like, RVD.
Hey, check it out. It would be like, owning a Harley almost, where like people like acknowledge you. Hey, we're like, yeah. I like it. Yes. So I thought to tie it into Terry Funk this week. We did touch upon him a little bit on, I think it was like maybe our first or third episode or something like that. But I figured we'd talk about Tommy Dreamer this week.
I know him.
Yeah. I think you're familiar with this guy a little bit. Speaking of, when did you guys first meet, or what was your first impressions of Tommy? Because you met when you started in ECW, I imagine, right?
I imagine that's the first time I met him, and I don't remember meeting him.
Yeah.
I don't recall what my first impression was, but I don't remember thinking anything different of him ever, other than he's a very likable, affable guy. Seems to have honorable, good intentions behind his actions. He's fun to be around, and he cares very, very much about the business.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell that. 100%, you can tell that.
Yeah.
Story. He's like, he's a co-host on Busted Open Radio, and you definitely see that just shine through through the radio and stuff. But.
And also a great sense of humor. Like some guys are serious. Like I don't know, Billy Gunn, Billy, and then Tommy always in a good mood to at least make fun of himself at the very least. You know what I mean? And be humble and sarcastic as opposed to serious.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Kind of like self-deprecating in certain ways, and just
Sure.
You'll always like to see that too a lot of times.
Yeah.
For a point of reference for our listeners, one of Tommy's early matches in ECW was at NWA Bloodfest in October 2nd, 1993. The Tasmaniac defeated Tommy Dreamer. So how about that? Oh, before I forget too, apparently your recent rival Jungle Boy, or Jack Perry, he's going to be facing Hook at All In this weekend in London. I forgot to ask you, did you run into Hook at all when you were backstage at AEW?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Did you meet him before that, like as a kid or anything? No. Okay.
No.
Yeah. A pretty cool guy. Did you guys
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taz introduced me to him, and he seemed like very respectful, like he was honored to meet me. Like I felt like he obviously watched me growing up or whatever, and so I felt the love. Felt the love.
Yeah, you might get the tattoo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be this logo right here. This one of a kind.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, if you guys get that, you got to show us that.
One of a kind. Hey, hey.
I can't point right. It's right over there. All right, so maybe one of the earlier matches you had with him happened to be July 17th, 1997.
With Hook? I never worked with Hook.
Oh, no, with Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, 97, November to remember?
July 19th, 1997 at Heatwave. You were in a three-person tag. It was you, Sabu, and Jerry Lawler versus Tommy Dreamer, Sandman, and Rick Rude, which ended in a no contest. Do you remember working with Rick Rude at all? Does that ring a bell at all with you, or anything kind of charge up with that?
Tell me who's in the match again?
Yes. So this was around the time I would imagine that like the WWE.
Me and Sabu and Lawler against Dreamer, Rude,
Sandman, and Rick Rude.
Steel cage, right or no?
I'm not sure about the steel cage or not. I got this from Online World of Wrestling, and this.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I probably already worked with Dreamer a bunch by then, probably, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and I don't remember this match necessarily. No, Lawler wasn't at the cage match one. Okay. I remember, it must have been a week before, a week after. I mean, on the program, because it sounds like it would have been tied into this. But I remember one time having the steel cage, and this was early because Sandman, I hadn't worked with him before, because Sandman and Dreamer both are like crucified, like they got they're handcuffed to the fucking cage.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like this, opposite sides. And me and Sabu and Fonzie run in there. I think Rick Rude opened the cage door for us or something. But we... Sorry.
That's all right.
If that makes sense. I used to think I'm going to die by choking on my own spit, but I forget to swallow sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's and by the way, somebody left a comment, something about that they appreciated me and just wanted to tell me like while I was still around, because people don't give the people the love sometimes they deserve until after they die. And that's cool, and I appreciate it. But what a lot of people don't realize is I'm going to outlive everybody. So even though you think that someday you're going to be putting me down and be sad about it, don't even worry about that. Put that out of your mind.
Yeah, get rid of that.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
So we're going to run into the middle of the ring and set two chairs up back to back. And then we're going to both run, me and Sabu, and we're going to jump off of the chairs. And Sabu's going to hit Dreamer with something. Fonzie's going to hold a chair over Sandman's face while his wrists are handcuffed to the cage. Right?
Okay.
Bam. I'm running, jumping off of the chair that's like in the middle of the fucking ring, delivering a flying one-legged sidekick. And we're talking about this earlier. Sandman says, lay it in there. Okay. He never said that again to me, ever. Ever. The very first time I ever kicked Sandman was the last time he ever put in such a silly request.
Lay it in there.
But I remember that, and I don't remember the exact tag match. I thought that might be it, but it wouldn't make sense that Lawler was there, but I don't see how Lawler and Rude could have been there. No. You did say Lawler and Rude. I don't see how they could have been there at the same time.
Yeah, this must have been like, I think so. Initially started, I was looking at Meltzer's newsletter during that time too, and it had a question mark at who the third partner was, and apparently Rick Rude was the surprise in it, maybe from what I was gathering. So, what was how much interaction did you have with Rick Rude? Anything that really sticks out to you or anything like that?
I remember smoking a joint with them.
Yeah.
Outside the Philly arena, and I was marking out inside a little bit. I was a big fan of Rick Rude's, and I was just thinking, man, this is so fucking cool, smoking with him. Trying to think if I can remember what we were talking about. But I don't right now. I just remember he was really cool and really respectful, and I just thought that was super cool. I really wasn't around him much at all. Maybe two times. I feel like maybe 2 times.
Honestly, like too, if I wasn't looking, I wouldn't have even realized that you guys were like interacting in the ring with one another. So it's pretty neat to kind of find out. But yeah, I hear a lot of good things about Rick Rude and how like kind of just one of the boys basically, and I know Kevin Nash was a big fan of him too, and all that stuff. So
supposedly a badass too.
You're right. Yeah, you hear that a lot.
As a fan, that was our first look at abs.
Right?
We didn't know what abs were. Shit.
Mm-hmm. That was that. He was like, yeah, he was like very much the first one.
And there's a very, very good chance, maybe 100% chance that me having my shit airbrushed was inspired by him doing that with his pants. He had Cheryl Roberts painted on his pants to insult Jake that one time, and that's always been in my mind. So, that's what I wanted to do.
How about that? So inspired by Rick Rude, huh? Jeez.
Sure. Maybe not just him, but
definitely kind of helped.
But then maybe anyway, yeah,
got the gears turning a little bit.
Yeah.
So at this time, I kind of wanted to tie this in a little bit too. Meltzer at the time, apparently this Dennis Rodman had his match at Bash at the Beach at the same time here. He tagged with Hulk Hogan against Lex Luger and the Giant. And Meltzer writes, so now Dennis Rodman is a bona fide pro wrestler, and the scary part is he wasn't all that bad. At the time, he was 36 years old. He said he was not only not an embarrassment in the ring, but actually showed far more aptitude and more trained pro wrestlers with months of training in their first match. His offense was limited, looked decent. His athletic ability, which was world class, was able to translate better into wrestling than expected. It was naturally strong. Yeah, so it had some well-timed leapfrog spots. What did you kind of... Was that on your radar at the time, or were you guys just like focused on ECW a lot, or did that kind of hit you over like, oh, Dennis Rodman's kind of like, wow, that's kind of wild?
It wasn't. I associate it right now with Jay Leno being a wrestler.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Maybe Vince Russo writing a bunch of silly stuff. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's the guy that really gets the credit for that. David Arquette being champion. I associate it with that. It seems like in my mind that was happening at the same time period. It was kind of embarrassing, like a black eye for my personal feelings on the business. You know, nothing against Dennis, and I know he's serious about it and shit. But then there's another basketball player or another football player, and I don't know who these guys are, but same gimmick. And so I kind of felt like, you know, credibility-wise, that that the business was losing steam.
Some of it's like, you know, what you're talking about, like the old school mentality of it. Like it's kind of putting a light on it a little bit more.
Well, I still feel like that every time. I still feel like that, you know, and I mean, I know Bad Bunny is super popular. People love him, biggest star. And I really haven't seen much. I think I saw him do one jump, which is really cool. And maybe he's a full-on great wrestler. I don't know. But my thoughts instinctively, whenever I hear about something like that, is like, you know, that it makes the what we do seem a lot easier than what it really is.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, I can understand that for sure too, because it's just like, hey, if just some Joe Schmo celebrity can come in here and kind of do what we're doing, what does that speak of it, you know, in certain ways?
Jackass kids can come in and have a match, or
right,
you know, whatever. Yeah. I've always felt like that. Now, with the experience that I have, I understand business is business, and I understand numbers. And you know, Katie told me, she had to tell me because I'm not that musically inclined, but that how big of a star Bad Bunny is. And it's like, well, I mean, I get that, why they would want to include him and stuff, you know, but still, the Sheik inside of me grumbles at it.
What the fuck? Yeah.
That's the idea, you know, just like every time. You know, it doesn't matter who. You know, Jeremy Piven comes in and does a crossbody off the top rope. Yay! I want to do that.
Right? Yeah. I had that planned for my match, and fucking Jeremy Piven did it. And he called SummerSlam Summerfest.
Yeah, I've just always felt like that. It doesn't bother me as much as it used to, and now I'm a way bigger fan of the whole female in general, you know, whether it's the female wrestlers or whether it's guest stars or whatever. I mean, I was pissed at the Miller Lite girls bumping me and Kane's match off of WrestleMania, which is the way that I remember it, and getting bumped down to heat. And but you know, now it's, you know, now I don't get upset at anything. But also, I wasn't allowed to be as big of a fan of the female back then. I was suppressed by my evil ex because,
right, yeah,
it was a very uncomfortable situation. Anytime a subject came up of another girl, you know, you could just be like, I could just be like, oh, you know, yeah, that girl's nice. Oh, really? You want to fuck her? You know, I was like, whoa.
Hey, no one's just saying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, but anyway, and not even just females, but in general, you know, like I get it now. But you know, it's because the business has changed that much. I get it now, but back then it wasn't cool. You know what I mean? Just like when they started making that we just talked about it, the documentary on
Beyond That?
Beyond the Mat. That was still a closed door society.
Right.
And what he was doing was not cool by us. And I happen to know that guy was sabotaged a lot when he was on our property. He'd have his camera laying around and a bunch of like VHS tapes and stuff. And I happen to know some of the boys would go and, you know, on a mission and take those tapes and like hide them in the walls. There was like holes in the walls where, and lost forever. Who knows what kind of work he put into that stuff, you know? But it was like, we didn't want him there. We didn't. He's like, oh, we're going to tape you getting ready for your match all day. Is that cool? Like, fuck no.
No.
No,
no, it's
you
not.
You want to get me stretching? Okay, you know, hit me then. But leave me alone and let me just stretch. But until then, fuck no.
Dude.
Yeah, it was very much like that anyway. So, I got sidetracked, but that's where I came from. So when they had, I mean, even though it's always been like Cyndi Lauper and whatever, it's always been an aspect of it, but it's been one that was choked down by me because of the way that I was trained. And now I look at it, because the business has changed so much, I try to look at like a big show like that more like a Las Vegas show, like from beginning to end, the way they have everything set up and with the lights and the music, the pyro, everything is like a show. So I can see where they can be part of it and add a lot to it. When you're on the road and you're a competitor and that's just another day for you, day 25 out of the month, it might not feel like just a show,
Right. No.
So it's hard to get out of that perspective too, to look at it that way. But that's that conversation of the meat peddlers, versus the meat.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, you kind of mentioned, this might have been on the hidden episode that we have. You kind of mentioned too.
Casino?
Yeah, the casino episode where I think we did talk about Bad Bunny, and I think you talked about Mike Tyson. So when somebody like a Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali kind of gets involved, is that a little bit more digestible for you as a wrestler with the old school mindset?
It is. It totally is. Yeah, man. Baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. Bring him in. Yeah.
Yeah,
to me that makes a lot more sense than an actor that's not even known for being a tough guy,
Mm-hmm. All that considered, too, you and Logan Paul would tear it up. I know you mentioned that on Denise's interview, and I was like, you guys would fucking tear it up. That would be a good one. Real good.
When he comes in, he must. Well, who knows? But I'm just thinking, like when you only have one match every couple months, then every time you come in, it's like a warm up match. You know what I mean? Because you gotta, like, if you're wrestling for a little bit, then you get more in sync after a couple nights and shit. You get into the groove, and your body's condition and everything and stuff. And he just does one every once in a while, right?
Yeah, it's only like every few months or big shows that happen. Like I know he did one in Saudi Arabia, SummerSlam, WrestleMania. So like your big kind of WWE's big tentpole money making shows.
But perhaps he's in a school training and stuff like that because he's still learning.
I think he was training with Shane Helms a lot. Was his
cool.
Who he was working with and stuff. So
yeah.
So I got a lot more to talk about with Dreamer. But I think what I'm going to do is transition to the Van Dam match because it kind of makes sense. We'll talk. I'll put a pin on Dreamer, and we'll talk about him next week on next week's episode a little bit more.
Okay.
But so the match that we have is actually your match with Dory Funk this week, and I have the whole match here, so we can watch it back. I think we won't get flagged or nothing like that because it's from Dory's YouTube, so it's pretty cool. I've never watched the match before until yesterday, and so what I was saying.
Put it out. We're gonna watch it now.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it now. You up for it?
Sure.
All right. Cool.
This is what year? This is
1997, September 11th in Amarillo, Texas.
So I'm 26.
Oh.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. Just graduated high school in '89. Holy crap! What a baby.
Man, that is crazy. So yeah, wow. That's crazy.
What a baby I was. 7 years after graduating high school. Wow.
Holy smokes. Have you gone back and watched this match before?
I feel like I have years ago after it happened. I think I watched it, like that year.
Yeah. Oh, man. Rob, I watched it. I was telling Marcus, my brother, and I was telling my other buddy, Jeff, I was like, dude, it's fucking great because it's two different styles from guys of two completely different generations of it all. And
I can't believe I did the fucking helo on him and made the rope with my heavy ass.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
My buddy's eyes bugged out when I told him. I was like, Rob fucking gave him the Van Dam in the match.
Did I? Oh, shit.
You did. You gave him the Van Dam. So we'll watch it. I have it queued up to when the match starts because Pantera plays.
Dory respected that, though, that I didn't take it easy on him and just treated him like everyone else because that's what he wants.
Well, let me say this before I start the match. So I was reading Meltzer. I want you to give your perspective on it because Meltzer says that he reports that you complained backstage to doing the job to him. That's what he says.
I can't imagine. I don't recall, but that doesn't sound like me. And
I wasn't. I was like, what are they like? Because when Meltzer read it, he wrote it like, "Can you believe this or not?" But Rob, he said you sold well for him, but then he was like, "Can you believe this?" He didn't want to do the job to him or something. Complained about doing the job.
Yeah, I really don't remember, but when shit like that gets reported, sometimes people, any complaints, you know what I mean? Whether it's whatever, a lot of people don't take into consideration they might have been promised something else. Then they have a legitimate beef, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like if you're told one thing, and then when you're there, they're telling you something else, then of course you're going to be like, hey, what the fuck? But only that part gets out there. Like, oh, he's complaining that our 3-star hotel room wasn't enough for him. Well, that's because you promised a 5-star hotel room. I'm just saying, right. For instance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I don't remember, though. That's funny. It seems like the right thing to do is put Dory over.
Yeah. And it was a cool finish, too. I liked it. We'll watch it right now. And also, I have the volume down here. But low-key MVP of this was Bill Alfonso. We were talking about how obnoxious he is, like with the whistle. Dude, fucking next level shit up here on this match.
I feel like maybe I've already done the Raw Invasion because I think that's that outfit, right?
Yeah, you're wearing the WF gear and all that stuff on here. Yeah. And I tell you what, the crowd was very much on Dory's side, and you were getting all the heat here.
Oh.
You were getting all the heat. No.
Well, I didn't even have the 3 pumps yet.
No, you were just doing the quick ones real quick.
I did 4.
You weren't doing the Linda McMahon. No.
Looking confident.
Looking ready to roll, man.
Oh, you know what? My shoulders look stiff. I'm jacked. My shoulders look stiff. I'm jacked. Can't move.
I can't move. So fragile, Rob. Look at you.
Fragile at 26.
Fragile, so fragile. Do you remember the atmosphere of this crowd at the time? Like, was this like, damn? Because, I mean, coming from here to, like, doing it, like, at the ECW arena and this comparison, it's like, I think it was 3,800. It was the house here. So.
I don't remember, actually, like, specifically what it felt like.
Yeah.
Fun fact, though, I was half my age that I am now.
How about that?
Simple math, ladies and gentlemen.
Simple math. When this headlock started off too, I was like, dude, Rob's already selling really good because you're like, oh, struggling and like out of surprise. Like, all right, this is gonna be good.
That's what people don't understand nowadays. I was telling you, I could help a lot of people, but I don't feel obligated to do it on a public format. But there's so much that guys are missing nowadays with, they stop working when you need to keep going all the time. Don't stop working ever.
And never stop. This was great too because like Dory surprised the hell out of me with the leapfrog stuff and all that whole sequence there. I was like, damn. I was like, did not expect that to happen. So.
Oh no, Fonzie throws.
So somebody said in the YouTube comments on this video in particular that you said he's got to be 100. You said that about Dory, I guess. So it's on here, so it's good heat going. Good heat.
Whoa! Wait a second. No, I'll get back to you. I gotta look something up here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Dory's gonna give chase here.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this?
I'm ready. Should I pause it here?
No.
Okay.
All right. Either way. All right. According to my calculations, Dory in this match right now is approximately 4 years older than I am right now.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit.
Isn't that crazy?
Dude, that's fucking nuts.
Dory was 100 when he was in his 50s. Look at me.
Yeah. Damn. All right.
Different lifestyles, I guess.
Absolutely. Different times, too. Different times.
Yeah.
Back on the. Oh, there he is, right here.
He's 82 now. So 26 years ago, He would have been
He was
56.
26, 82, do the math. So he would have been, what, 50? No.
82 years old.
82 years old.
Yep. So 26 years ago, because I said that, yeah. I said I was half my age there, so I just did 26.
So was he like 50?
56. I don't know exactly when his birthday is.
Yeah, yeah.
56. He could have been, let's see, he's born in February, so maybe
this was September.
Maybe 57.
Okay. Wow. When did you first meet Dory, Rob?
Is that what I'm going to look like in 3 years? Holy shit.
Could you imagine?
Damn.
Did you see that? He was doing the RVD. Dory was doing
he's mocking me.
Mocking you. He's doing the goose.
Bitch.
He's doing the goose.
Get up, RVD. What's up for that uppercut? Damn. Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Did you first meet him in Japan, Rob?
Yeah, that's what I was. Sorry, I was trying to answer that question. In '93 in February was my first trip in All Japan, and I probably met him on that first trip. I don't remember exactly meeting him. Boom! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh man!
And that was all floor. I mean, my heel might have bumped him, but what the hell?
That was when I saw that too. I was like, oh my god, that did not have to feel good.
He's selling because my heel bumped his ankle and something. I don't know. Wow. That was nutty. No wonder everyone said I wouldn't last. You know. Everyone's like, "You're gonna be done wrestling when you're 40." So
Japan, you met him.
Yeah, Lord Blair's was the agent that booked me the first time in February of '93. He lived in Hawaii, and he middlemanned the booking with Giant Baba. And then I think it was the very next. It was like a year later. Dory took over that position. Dory called me and said, "Hey, shitty punches," and Dory said. They want you to come back, when you're ready or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then it's like, well, you really got over there. They'd like to use you again. And I was like, okay, cool. When's the next really short tour? And so my first 3 years, I only did the February tour because it was 15 days. And and it was hard for me to be over there on a bus going, eating at truck stops. I didn't even eat seafood, and just the whole thing it was hard for me. I was so young. It was really hard to be on the road and in another country, and I would lose 10, 15 pounds, in that 15 days. Yeah.
Dude, you're only like, what, 22 or 23 at the time for that?
Yep. 22. Just turned 22. 2 months ago. So I'm a baby. I was hanging on the boys' coattails at the airport because I had no idea how to even get to a gate, how to follow the signs at the airport.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, that's got to be overwhelming.
Yeah. But so anyway, Dory booked me every time after that. He was the guy that would, and then Johnny Ace eventually too. Dory or Johnny both were, either one of them could book you for a trip. I don't know why one or the other would do it, but that's how I got to know Dory. And then got along with him right away. I remember him teaching us how to order food at a Chinese restaurant there in Tokyo where we would stay.
Yeah.
And teaching me a few things, how to. One thing I remember him saying, because I remember one time I was really hungover because they made me party the night before. They made me, but they would. We were young, you know what I mean? They put the pressure on you.
Yeah, they peer pressure you.
Icky. Anyway, I remember telling Dory, oh my God, I feel so sick. I can't believe and Dory, this was in the daytime at the arena. And Dory said, yeah, he goes, I've found that usually no matter how you're feeling, usually by the time it comes down to get ready for your match, you can usually get through it. And that always stuck with me. And I'm like, that motherfucker is right,
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
right. I remember one match where I just felt like I barely made it through it. I felt like I was going to throw up like the whole match. But for the most part, he's right, though. Like, all day it could be like, oh, my God, how am I going to do this? Holy fuck. Then when it comes time to be out there, boom, fucking turn it on. Okay, so, I just Van Daminated him.
Yeah, we're going to go back to that one.
Oh, shit, Dory.
Oh,
sorry.
man. It's good shit. So he's got the, is this the Indian Deathlock? Is that what it's called? The Indian Deathlock? Is that this one?
I
can't remember.
I don't know. I think it was just a drop toe hold. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not a.
That's his like submission.
Spinning toe hold. I think.
Spinning toe hold. You're right. That's what it is. All right, here it is.
Like, hey,
boom, good stuff.
Oh shit.
I was so shocked when I saw that at first. I laughed. I was like, damn, I was watching at Starbucks. So
57-year-old Dory Funk Jr. We're taking a Van Daminator.
Van Daminator, like, man.
That's what happens now that I'm 52. Everything is 52-year-old RVD when it's recorded. It's amazing that I'm still walking.
Mr. Monday Night, Fonzie's putting you over. Oh, shit.
Did I just throw it at him?
You just threw it at him.
Shit. Bob Ortiz, that ring announcer.
Oh, okay.
I broke his nose.
Did you really?
Yeah. This is the match with Doug Furnace. Boom!
Kicks out.
RVD can't get that high anymore. I saw one match.
Now, how did this match come about exactly, Rob?
Ooh. I don't know. I mean, I was in contact with Dory. I've worked Dory in Japan. You know, they probably just asked me to do it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, baby.
It was up there.
Oh, arrogant pin. Got it.
Hey, have some respect. That man's a legend.
That man. Yeah. What are you doing, Rob?
Normally, when I do pin someone, I usually like hold their shoulder down. You know, sometimes I hook the leg. Otherwise, I put all my weight on their shoulder to hold it down, and sometimes that gets some pushback from fans. They think that's disrespectful because I don't hook the leg, and apparently they know more than I do.
Well, you got to aim for the shoulder because that's what you got to get up is the shoulder.
That's what Sabu taught me.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right there.
Wait, did I miss the frog splash? Or did I get it?
No, you hit it.
Oh.
But I think the arrogant pin is what didn't keep him down.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't my finish back then, too.
That's what I was wondering. Okay, spinning toe hold again. Up, 2. No.
I think that was 3.
Fonzie thinks so.
Yeah. All right, that proves it because he used to be a referee. So
he knows.
Yep. Inside.
Oh.
What in the hell?
No. For leverage.
I wonder.
Oh.
Oh.
My goodness. Folks, if you're listening, Rob got dropped on his head there. Belly to back.
I love Dory. I need to call him. I used to see him every time I would go to Florida, but last couple
quick finish.
Oh, what was that crazy pinning?
Like cradle hold. That I don't think that really gets pulled out here.
No, I'm gonna use that if I can figure it out.
Yeah, Dory pulled that out of the bag of tricks.
Oh, I'm up quick.
You're not happy.
Nothing to sell here.
Right? Crowd's going nuts here.
I'm going nuts.
You're going nuts. Fonzie's pissed.
You better get out of here. You better take your win and get out of here. You know what's good for you.
You know what's going down. So there it was, Rob. That was a
great
match. I loved it.
Cool. Thank you, Dory.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So how often do you keep in touch with Dory then?
I don't know. I mean, I used to keep in touch with him a lot more often. So I talked to him maybe like 3 months ago, and it'd probably been like a while, maybe a year before that. Just sometimes I talk to his wife instead of him. Just sometimes, she answers and has all the info Dory has anyway. Maybe sometimes she'll put him on for a minute,
We'll just say hi to you.
She'll do a lot of the catching up or whatever. Yeah.
You guys listen to Wayne Newton together and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. You remember that?
Yep.
Nice. Somewhere that picture exists of me and Dory.
We gotta find it.
Wayne Newton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, what did you learn from Dory? Anything really stand out to you in regards to what maybe you kind of garnered from him? Well, you kind of mentioned it already. Like, just hey, you can power through when you party down a little bit.
I mentioned a couple of times, yeah. Regardless, even if it's not partying, if you're just feeling sick and whatever, he said, by the time it's time to get out there, he said, I found, that you can get yourself, you can get yourself there where you can go ahead and get through it, and he was. I think he reiterated that half the job is just showing up. If you can show up somewhere. Because there's so much travel, then half the job done anyway. So, I also learned, when I first started wrestling for All Japan, I know this is worth mentioning again, but I got trained by the original Sheik, and we didn't get trained at all how to take care of each other, how to fall right, how to do any move and not hurt each other. There was none of that. It was just about grabbing each other, being as rough as we could. The rougher, the better for him. Anyway, when I started wrestling for Baba in All Japan, Dory pointed out that I wasn't taking body slams the right way. Yeah, and I don't know I don't know what it was that I was doing. I don't know if he wanted my feet were maybe, I don't know. I really can't remember if my feet. Something about the timing of my feet hitting, and I think he was saying if my feet hit when my back hit, if I could do that at the same time, it helps distribute the pressure throughout your whole body, and you won't get hurt as bad. And the way that I was doing it, I guess my tailbone was hitting and then my feet, and he was saying I was going to wear my back out that way. And what I remember mostly about that conversation was the logic for exercising this tactic. Mm-hmm. He said, don't worry about it. Just think about it, work towards it. You'll get it. And we were working every night anyway. So it was just, if someone had me up and I was going to get slammed, I would think about, let's see, what did Dory say? And that's a great way to approach something instead of worrying about getting in there and doing it 100 times. Sometimes you just got to think about it and work towards it, and you'll get it. And that's something that sometimes is very true. And I learned that from Dory.
How about that? So like anytime, like say if you need to develop something or work on something, it's just like, as long as you're kind of cognizant of it and you kind of adjust your body in a certain way, you'll get there eventually instead of just
you know what, Dom, I use that on RVDology every time. I always say just awareness is key. Like if you're aware of this value that I'm talking about right now, then you'll just work towards it. You'll notice when you're doing it, you'll notice when you're not doing it. Eventually you'll be able to apply it more and more if you want to, and then it'll become one of your values that's behind every thought or action that you do. And I've been saying that all the time, and I learned it from Dory.
How about that? That's pretty cool. That is very cool. It's neat. It's neat to see that match take place. And then on top of it, the kind of friendship and bond that you guys have. It's just like legacy carrying on, and people are learning from you guys like Sami Callihan or Sammy Guevara. And then you can translate all the way back to Dory Funk and all the way back to the Sheik. It's just pretty cool to see all that.
Yeah, no, we've spent a lot of time together. When the Evil X was around, then sometimes it'd be the four of us, and then now with Katie, she loves the Funks, and we've done like Thanksgiving dinner with them, and like been to their house many times. Marty used to always make food like Japanese style, like tuna salmon that you would, or salmon, and you would wrap it up with seaweed and rice, and she would like make this for us when we were just over visiting and stuff. And there was lots of good memories, and I definitely need to check in on them. I did just talk to them recently, but like I said, I haven't seen them in a while. They used to be whenever I'd go to Florida, I'd try and make some time, and they live not too far from my mom.
Oh, how about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Man, it'd be cool to get him on here at some point if we were able to ever do that. It'd be pretty neat.
That would. True.
Very
True.
So
True.
Cool. Maybe we can try to make that happen or something. All right.
By the way, hey, at my Cauliflower Alley Club Hall of Fame induction last year, I'm sorry, the year before, which is this week, by the way, coming up.
It is this week, yes. Mm-hmm.
Dory did the what do you call it? The nomination or whatever.
The induction part, or the
yeah, he wasn't there, but he recorded it, gave a speech, and put me over huge.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Oh man,
put me over huge, like I was the best wrestler ever, and all kinds of stuff. Like I was laughing. It was a little too much, but
a little too.
Yeah, but it was awesome.
Well, so speak about the Cauliflower Alley Club and stuff like that a little bit. How was that whole kind of experience and stuff? You hear how much it helps a lot of the wrestlers and stuff like that, and it seems like a good way for the wrestlers to reconnect too in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's a networking thing for sure, and it kind of has a feeling of not just nostalgia, but of actual connection to the deep roots. And that's because it's been around so long, and a lot of the members are super old school, guys from way back in the day. And it used to be just this private club for wrestlers, and then they at some point let fans join, and it's amazing because it's only like $100. I'm sorry, $25 a year for a membership, but they have so many members that it raises a substantial amount of money that they use to help wrestlers who are in need and need like some hospital bills taken care of or whatever. There's a huge list of wrestlers that they have helped, and before I even knew what it was about, I liked the event. I didn't even know that they were helping wrestlers out. When I joined, I was just happy to be there and be a part of it. Respect, and there's like a little bit of like I think they call it a nostalgia room. There's a little area where some of the wrestlers are there selling their pig. It's not like a huge convention or whatever. There's different events, different speeches, different speakers throughout the several days that the event is, and the biggest part of it is the awards night, which is a big banquet dinner, and it's cool because we always will run into a lot of people that we know there. Last year, I remember Rey Mysterio was getting inducted, and Conan did his introductory speech, and then there's old timers that you never even heard of, but you just know that they tell you about them, and then how their participation in paving the way. So it's really cool for several reasons. So that's coming up in just a few days. So I hope I don't forget.
Are you gonna try to go?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. Yeah, I definitely have it on my list to join at some point here. I know, and like to your point too, it's like what, $25 a year or it's something to.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think you can do a lifetime membership for like $300 if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next time and just get that over with. Yeah. You get a newsletter like every month, and when you're a member, and they keep you up to date on everything that's going on. Members, wrestlers that are associated with it, but it's been around forever. It's a really old school thing, and like I said, it used to just be for the wrestlers, so it still has that kind of appeal, that connection, where it feels like it's more where it's more about the heart of the industry and less about, I don't know, glamour, production, all that stuff.
Yeah, all the pizzazz that potentially
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah, it's more of a, if Cauliflower Alley Club was a TV show, it would be black and white.
Yeah, there you go. You fall on the honeymooners.
Yeah.
You fall on the honeymoon. Yeah, no, it's definitely check it out if you guys have the opportunity. I know Brian Blair's the president.
Yep. I love seeing Brian too. Good guy.
Yeah, cool stuff, man. All right, we'll do a couple Ask RVDs and then we'll close out. Do you have an RVDology this week, Rob?
Yeah, I'll talk for a minute.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's do it. We'll do a couple Ask RVDs. This one ties into what we talked about here a little bit ago. Actually, it was Tim Hayes here asked, your personal preferences only, sativa, indica, or hybrid. Which smoke do you like? Why? And if no one in specific, which do you like for specific situations like calming down smoke? I needed to think on this smoke, or my favorite, I'm a watching YouTube smoke. Thanks, bud. Is there any ones that you have preference for, Rob?
Yeah, I prefer a sativa dominant hybrid usually. That's because I like to smoke while I'm functioning. And for me, it's not just something I do at nighttime before I go to bed. Having said that, if you are looking for something to just calm down, you want an indica. Once in a while, as high as my tolerance is for THC, sometimes I'll come across a strand that's just like such a high indica that it just makes me feel like sleepy. And it's not usually something that I'm seeking. I'm usually like, damn, this weed's making me tired and I'm trying to be productive. And instead I feel like taking a nap, and it's usually something I fight. So I'm like loading up with caffeine, but I'm aware of that. So, but if that is what you're looking for, then calming down, I would say definitely just get like a really strong indica. And I prefer mostly sativa dominant hybrids.
Okay. And that kind of elevates you a little bit and kind of makes you like feel ready to go.
It can, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind too. Another thing, kind of health-wise, BBDC. It's me, VBDC. Says, can you tell me specifically what kind of stem cell treatment you received that gave you such relief? Thanks, RVD. You're the best. Love you and love the new pod. Did you get your stem cells?
I did stem cells. I believe it was 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It also might have been 2020, but it was definitely like within that window from 2019 to 2020. And I went to South America, to Medellin. I went to this place that plenty of my peers had been to, and everybody was reporting these miraculous results, surgery-like improvements on torn ligaments and such. So I went down there and I got a lot of stem cells. I'm trying to think of what to tell you for the kind that it was. These came from, as we were told, the tube.
Mm-hmm.
What's the tube called between the mom and the baby?
The fallopian tube? What am I thinking here?
Anyway, but anyway, so we were told that that's where it comes from. A lot of people have
yeah.
A lot of people have misunderstandings and think that fetuses are like sacrificed for their stem cells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And it's either the placenta or it's the tube that you got to cut. And I can't remember what that's called, but anyway, that's where the stem cells came from. And I got them all over. I got hair rejuvenation, facial rejuvenation, and I got both shoulders done. I got both wrists, had stem cells shot into them, my entire spine between every one of my vertebrae, another shot in the back to go up to my brain. And I think that that's everything that I had. And they said that it was 221 million stem cells and that it was the most that they'd put into any of the boys yet. But I talked to John Morrison, and I think he said they told him the same thing, and maybe he did more, I don't know, after me. But I can't say that I got the results that I was looking for. I got a little bit better in one area that I know of. My right hand has always fallen asleep since this particular Kurt Angle suplex that I took on my face, and it temporarily paralyzed half of my body. And I couldn't move my whole right side for a few seconds. Then it slowly came back to me. And ever since then, my right hand has just fallen asleep all the time. I've been tested for nerve damage. They said that they don't find any. I've been told it's just carpal tunnel. Kind of funny about coincidences, though. That got a little bit better. Like instead of waking up and it was like someone was sitting on it, instead of that, it would be like maybe half of that or whatever. And now it's way less than it used to be. Besides that, I didn't get any noticeable results within the time frame that they told me that the stem cells would still be in operation. They said 6 months and then they said up to 12 months, some people can still get benefits from having those stem cells, but after that, that's pretty much what you're going to get. So I was told. Mm-hmm. During that amount of time, unfortunately, didn't have results that I could point to. That's why I never went and bragged or really promoted my personal usage of the stem cells, because I believe in them, stem cells, and I've been recently given a possible reason maybe why the stem cells might not have been active in my body, and I was told maybe I had too much metal in my blood and that I should do this drawing out of metal toxins and then try it again. And then that got stuck going nowhere when the local doctor, who likes to have a lot of people so he can name drop on his list, didn't get anything done months and months ago. He ordered the test kit for the metals or whatever, and that just dropped. Maybe that's what it was, but for whatever reason, I couldn't point to anything and say that the stem cells like really gave me great results. So I didn't, but I still think everyone else should try it. And I started feeling better. My back started feeling better maybe 3 years after. So I don't think I can logically put it on the stem cells, at least not from the information that I have.
Yeah, I know Kevin Nash went down there just a couple months ago and got his stuff done, like shoulders, I think, and his neck was his big issue. He said it helped a little bit with the neck, but he said it's still going to maybe take him a little time, but he's felt the effects on other parts of it too. And I know he's been down there a few times from what I gather. I
think he was one of the guys that I looked at his reviews before I went, him and Ryback. And I remember Ryback saying he felt like he had shoulder surgery, said he couldn't move before and he felt great. And I'm like, dude, hey, shut up and take my money. And they did.
How about that? Speaking of that,
the only other person I talked to who didn't get great results was Lou Ferrigno.
Really? The Hulk?
Yeah. And that was like right before I was going to get them. I was talking to him and I said, well, did it work for you? And he said, it helped a little. I said, what? He said, it helped a little. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I felt the exact same way. I said, man, I got the Hulk's results, man. It helped a little bit, nothing remarkable. And unfortunately, I didn't get anywhere near what I was hoping for. So it wasn't just me. It was at least me and Lou.
Might have been the gamma radiation, the gamma rays. From the,
right, yeah.
Could have been.
I would try it again. Maybe I would look at getting that metal taken out of my body, withdrawn, however the hell you do that.
Yeah.
And I would give it another try maybe, because I mean, the science is there, the numbers are there with the people, and like I said, it's a lot of my peers that I know that say like it's helped them personally. But I'm always a horrible guinea pig. I don't know if I mentioned that before or not, but I'm always the person that gets like no results off any party favor at the party except weed.
That's it.
And alcohol.
And alcohol.
I feel that, but I mean, anything else is like, save it. You're wasting your time. It's not for me. I get nothing.
No. Hey, well, people will get something too next week, a little something extra. If you're listening to this on Monday, tomorrow, Rob is going to be on Kevin Nash with Nash and Friends, joining Sean Oliver and Kevin Nash. For if you go to clickthisTV.com, you can sign up, and Rob is the special guest. It's a good time, Rob. We have fun on Click This, so it's going to be cool to add you there too. They always speak highly of you on that show. So
cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be fun. So if you guys are interested, sign up at clickthisTV.com, and you can get that exclusive content. You can always get the Nash show early there too, a weekend early. So check it out. It's pretty cool experience. You always get to engage with Kev, and Kev's a fun time. So.
One thing I know from watching this show, because I like watching the clips of it, I know if Kevin pauses, that doesn't mean he's done talking.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
He doesn't mind, taking some.
Take your time.
Really long pauses.
Nope.
He doesn't mind doing that.
It's build the suspense, baby. It's build the suspense.
When I'm watching it, I'm like, can I stick?
I know as a host too, a lot of the times when I'm like interviewing somebody, I'm like, do I speak now? Should I wait? What do I do? That's like my head's always going.
Sean's great though. Sean's great at it. They're a good team. I love the show.
It's very Stern-esque, Howard Stern-esque. I always compare it to that. How they do stuff. So
cool.
It'll be cool to have you on there, Rob. So
yeah, that's live, I guess.
So it'll be live for the Click This members that sign up.
Oh.
The fans will actually get to interact and ask you questions and stuff like that. We'll put them on the screen there, and so it's like a pretty cool live Q&A thing that Kevin partakes in. We used to do watch-alongs with it, but we kind of found out more that it's much more fun to just bullshit instead of like watching something. So,
I think we did both today. We bullshitted through the watch-along.
We did bullshit for the watch-along, which is fine. Hey, if you're listening on audio, hopefully it wasn't too much dead air. So.
What a match I put Dory through.
Dude, that was great. I was talking to Marcus about it. I was like, dude, this match was so cool. It's just like two different styles. So, guys, if you're just listening, go to rvdpod.com and seek out the match. We'll have it on there at some point. So check it out at rvdpod.com. Rob, it is time to wrap it up with some RVDology. Boom.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wing it, so this one probably won't be very long. But I was thinking, I want to do another RVDology on my YouTube, and so I have 3 or 4 subjects written down. But I wasn't really prepared today, and I was just thinking, like, what do I think could maybe help people? Just something like really, really general. Hit one of my strongest basic values, and I'm just sharing the way I do it, what I approach life with. These thoughts that I share, they're behind all of my thoughts and all of my actions. Like, they're in my foundation. They're not something I have to remind myself of. But by talking about it, it's nice to have it further integrated and just, hopefully I can reach out to some people. I want to talk about karma. And I'm a strong believer in karma. I believe what comes around goes around. I believe that there's a balance to everything, and I believe it from experience. I think, as difficult as it is, a lot of times if we're hurt by somebody, we really want to hurt them back. It's not always a good thing to do. Obviously, depending on what we're talking about, you could get into trouble. Also, you're adding more negativity to the universe. And what you don't know is that negativity stays attached to you. Like I think I said last week, it's like you're in a dog cage and you're just shitting all around yourself, and now you're surrounded by just shit. Because what you put out into the universe, it does determine everything about your day, about your life. And when I say everything, of course there's exceptions. You have an agenda. Everyone has their own things going on that nobody else even knows about. But we all have a vibration that's determined by our thoughts. And when we're thinking bad thoughts, guess what? We're vibrating at a negative energy. We just are, even if we don't know it. If we're thinking happy thoughts, guess what? Positive vibration. And what that positive vibration does is it reaches out further than your physical being, okay? In this sea of energy, it does attract other things that have a similar frequency, other positivity, and also it just makes you seen as and perceived as, taken as a more positive source of energy. So people just looking at you, you can give them energy instead of draining their energy. You can make them happy instead of making them nervous or scared. And you might say, fuck them. Why do I care how they see me? And if that's how you feel, then maybe this isn't for you, because you're probably vibrating negative while you're thinking that right now. And if you love your life and love everything in it, I wouldn't listen to me either. But I do love my life, and I am so blessed, so gifted. I live a fantasy life. I spend all day telling my wife and hearing from her the exact same words: how grateful we are, how blessed we are. And it's honesty. It's not even, I remember reading The Secret, reading how, practice every time you wake up, saying this several times a day. I feel happy, I feel healthy, I feel terrific. That was one of the spiritual exercises where you keep saying that over and over and over. And that's cool. But what I'm saying is, when I talk about my life and how grateful and happy and blessed I am, it's not an exercise. It's just sharing. It's being honest. It's opening up, and it's being real, because that's how happy I am. That's how happy Katie is. And so that is our relationship, is talking and sharing that vibration. And it's awesome. And the thing about karma is that if you can trust it, it'll take care of you. It'll take care of you if you do good. It'll take care of you if you do bad, and other people, it'll take care of them too. I firmly believe, whenever possible, it's best if you can leave it up to karma instead of being vindictive. There's people that, I owe this motherfucker. He called a complaint on my dog's barking, so I'm going to key his car. So petty. That's just like so beneath where I think people should aim to be. Hurt me, I hurt you. It's natural, so you might have to train yourself to think differently if you're one of those people, and if you want to change. I mentioned last week this, and it's just relevant. I think I mentioned, because we were laughing so hard, I had tears in my eyes, that I was telling my vindictive friend, we're talking about, my evil ex ended up marrying the handyman and all this, and he was like, I would leave bad complaints on a Yelp for that guy's business. I was like, why? Well, who the hell? What would make you think to do that? And find some way to fuck him over. He actually said, and this is a quote, and he didn't make this up. You've heard it before: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. It's in the Bible, I guess, right? Our ideology does not agree with that. Let karma take care of what it may. You know what? As happy as I am, how happy can my evil ex be with the plumber right now? Come on, man. I love karma. I trust karma. And really, everyone's got their own paths, so your path crossed this person's path. Maybe it was for a while, maybe it was for a short, hot minute, and things happen. You know what? Go on your own path, make the best of life that you can, and let them go on their path too. And just trust that karma will take care of them if you can just feed positivity into the universe to manifest your life for the path that you want. Vengeance isn't part of that. It's not. And if an opportunity presents itself, then that is the universe saying, hey, guess what? You have the authority to decline this person's application or whatever. Boom, enjoy it. It's something like that. But overall, dude, karma has been very rewarding to me. I feel when I have something coming, I feel like I hope that I paid my debts. But you always got to have balance, So if everything's too good for too long, then I expect okay, shit, I hope it's not too bad, but something's got to happen. I'm like smiling every day, gleaming with hope and positivity. Who's going to die? It's going to happen. It happens. Sometimes it happens. My yin and yang was up on the wall when I was alone one time. This was like when I was a bachelor living in Savannah, Georgia. This was even before my evil ex. I was in between. I was seeing this other girl and off and on, bunch of drama. And I was meditating in my dojo. And I was looking at my poster I had on the wall that was a yin and yang, and I was just staring at it for the longest time. And that thing explained itself to me. The yin and yang symbol. It started moving. And it was like each side was trying to overtake the other side at the exact same time. So neither side was gaining any advantage or momentum on the other one. It was so equally balanced. And there was the black side, there was the white side. And when it spun, it was like a current, like I'm looking at a round meadow or a tub of water where the water is just continuously spinning, around a center, fulcrum, access point. And as that was happening, I realized like all these problems that I thought were stressing me out, each one of them was a rock thrown into that tub of water that kept the current from running smooth. It didn't stop the current, but the current had to go around it. It was an obstruction. And I labeled all the problems I could think of. And you know what? It wasn't that many. I'm all overwhelmed. Like my world is crashing on me. I got maybe five things that are on my mind. And I put them, or I saw them, mentally put them in the design, in the shape. And everything that was like really bad, it went in the black. That was like a filing cabinet. If it's positive, boom, it goes in the white. If it's negative, it goes in the black. Now that it's there, I'm aware, I've accepted it. Now it's just a black thing. Now what I got to do is take that rock out and let the current flow through because it's obstructing my current. I think about one thing at a time, and I'm aware of it. I'm thinking, you know what? I gotta call this person and get this thing straightened out. And then you know what? Boom. Once I do that, I take it out. And you know what? The current flows smooth then. Each time I pull a rock out, some are bigger, some are smaller, but they're all causing an obstruction and evasion of my chi, which would be that energy. And I saw it that way, and it made so much sense to me that it was like really enlightening. And it was already a part of my life, but it became like a much bigger part of my life. And it also helped me deal with everything with a stoic perspective of, okay, my car broke down on the highway. That's bad. Am I going to freak out and scream and jump up and down and throw a tantrum? Or am I just going to store it in the black and say, boom, there's an issue I got to deal with. It's bad. And it really helped me to do that, And the yin and yang represents the balance of karma and karmic energy. Quick story. I told this on my YouTube page when I talked about karma. So if you saw that episode, you might be familiar with this. But one day when I was in high school, it was winter time. And I drove my car. I was driving then. Ooh, probably a senior. And hi, baby.
Hey, baby.
I love you.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, you look so awesome.
Hey.
Hey, what's up, Katie?
Fashionable outfit.
Oops.
Looks good.
There you are, baby.
Ready for Friday?
Oh yeah, get ready for Halloween.
Friday.
Friday.
I drove to school, and when I was in the parking lot, I noticed that there was a car that was rolling and nobody was in the car. And our property had all three schools on the same property. There was elementary school, and then there was the junior high school, and then like, I don't know, 100 yards down, I guess, or so was the high school. And it was a little bit of a slope down there. And the car was coming towards the slope by itself. And I figured it was going to eventually hit another car or hit the school. And here I am, a whole ass superhero. So what am I going to do? I put my car in park, and I went over and I stood in front of the car, and I stopped the car while it was rolling, and then I stopped the momentum, and at the bottom of the hill, it just stayed right there, didn't jump the curb, and I forgot about it. I guess I told somebody, no idea who, at the beginning of school or whatever, and then later on, by fourth hour, I think it was, I had speech class. And Dango and I were giving a presentation on wrestling. And she was so tired of wrestling, but this was the last one. And oh my gosh, Mrs. Rosa was such a bitch back then. And it had to be physical and a partnership, some kind of thing. So we applied all the rules, and we said it was a demonstrative speech on the gorilla press. And so me and Dango were up there on stage. And there's a podium in front of us, and I'm talking to the class about why the gorilla press is such a great finishing move. This is when Ultimate Warrior was doing it, and I was a big fan of his, by the way. Yeah, and so I was saying, you can end the match this way if you can get this in. Great way to score the finish, boom, boom, boom. And then I picked Dango up, and I gorilla pressed him and held him over my head, and then he started talking. And then he's up there, and he goes, now, Rob has several choices to choose from right now while he's got me up here. And he's like, he could drop me behind him, and he said he could slam me in front of on his back. And then he looked over and he said, or he could drop me face first on the podium. And so, like, I threw him on the podium. Boom, he hit the podium. It fell off the stage, and it broke. And Mrs. Rosa was so pissed. She was so angry and yelling at us about clowning around, and it was just like a piece of the corner of the frame chipped off or something. It wasn't a big deal. And she was like, you will pay for that, and you will not do any more speeches on wrestling. You are not going to be a professional wrestler. You guys are not going to make it. You need to start paying attention to other things. You will go down there right now to the shop class and ask Mr. Boyer how much to bill you, and you will pay to get that fixed. I was like, all right, whatever, and I went down. I didn't even know Mr. Boyer that well because I didn't have shop class, but I knew who he was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew where the shop class was, and I walked down there, and I told him what happened, and he was like, it's just wood. I mean, that's just materials that we have here. There's no need to pay for anything, It's just a piece of the side frame fell off. I said, I know, but Mrs. Rosa, I went back and told her. And she said, you go back there, you tell him to charge you something. You are going to pay for that. She was such a bitch. I went back there and I told him, I said, she says you have to charge me something. He said, well, listen, he said, I heard I heard that you helped me out today, and I'd like to help you out back. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he said, I heard that this morning that you saved my wife's car from rolling into the school in the parking lot. Oh, and he said, yeah, I heard about that. And he said, so, I don't mind just taking care of this. If she says you have to have a charge, what do you want it to be? And I was like, I have no idea. And he was like, $10. And I was like, okay, sure. And so he put the charge on it. And it was cool that Karma took care of me because I saved that car. And when I got home and told my dad about it, he said, well, the home insurance is going to pay for it anyway, like it did when I broke the wrestler's scales by jumping on them, the weight scales. I was a squirrel. I was squirrely. Yeah, I was jumping on the scales in the gym, I guess, and broke them. And so my dad's home insurance had to pay for it. But that's a little story about Karma, though. Like out of nowhere, like bam, like hey man, you helped me out, and I feel like I owe you one. I'm going to help you back out. It's good to throw good energy out there with no expectations, but believe in karma. It takes care of all of us.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah, that's a great story, Rob. Holy smokes. For the man, how that all ties in together is great. It's awesome. And I'll tell you what, that really hit home with me today because I've been thinking about a lot of stuff when it comes to that aspect of my life. Like not necessarily seeking revenge but just wanting it all to balance out in certain ways. And so it definitely hits home with me today, Rob. This is good stuff. Man. Good stuff.
Our radiology suggests you trust in karma and have faith in it balancing out and do your part to keep your karma good.
Yeah. Okay. I'm definitely heeding that advice this week too, because there's been a situation I've been thinking about I can definitely tie that in with. So
awesome. Hopefully other people can relate as well. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments down below. Hit the rvdpod.com. It goes right to his YouTube page. You can check out all the RVDologies that he's done. On some of the episodes, we're going to get all the full episodes here eventually up on the YouTube, and check out the clips and comment on that. And, ask questions, anything like that. We'll pop it up on here. We're not afraid to do that. So
right, next week we're Starcade. Yeah, Starcade.
Starcast 6 happening in Chicago, Illinois. Schaumburg, Illinois, at one of the hotels there. So
and you're gonna ask me questions on a live Q&A on the stage.
We're gonna ask live Q&A. Me and Rob are gonna be together. If you go see Rob at his table, he'll give you one of these stickers here, and I'm gonna give it to him. So check those out. Say hi to Rob, meet Rob, get something signed, and then go watch a stage show and check out.
Ask me shit.
Ask him shit. He'll answer him for you, and he'll sign something real nice for you too. So
appreciate it once again, Dominator.
Appreciate you too, Robin. We appreciate you guys too for tuning in this week here on One of a Kind. R.I.P. and God bless to Bray Wyatt and Terry Funk this week. So,
R.I.P.
All right.
Well said.
Thank you. See you guys.
I was waiting for some kind of sign, some kind of indication I was wasting my time. I got myself up out the basement. I faked it long enough to say I made it. I was patient, I put up a fight. I kept saying to myself, oh, the future is bright. I confronted everything that I was faced with and put it off another day. I don't know why I don't start, but I can't quite seem to open up the communication. I wanna try so hard, but I can't find anything to give me the motivation. I took medication, went under the knife. I tried to straighten up, I even took your advice. I honestly and humbly engaged in my slow and steady rehabilitation. I hesitated, what a surprise, and then I think I kinda took my